say that hip hop culture, if it's perpetuated in the culture, that the way to be a man or macho or to be big is by killing or any other your opponents.
It's true.
Then it's not just about the actual fight, because today it's a fight about
content over everything.
Territory. Tomorrow might be about anything. But
of course,
you looking at my woman.
Of course.
If it's in the culture that you kill someone for because they infringe or they infringe on anything about, excuse me, civilized people shouldn't be doing that.
But then I think that's one. It's a good point. It's a very good point because it kind of like distinguishes between the actual culture of drug warfare and the culture of just I guess hip hop in particular. But I think you need to realize again the origin of hip hop culture did originate within drugs a lot of the time. Before we had this.
No, that's not a true statement.
You don't reckon?
I don't think so. I think hip hop was created in terms of like parties and entertainment.
I meant more the kind of like NWA hip hop.
But also when the hip hop stuff, mate, hip hop isn't just one form. There's different forms of music. So hip hop is there's people there's a majority of people that rap those stuff that you're saying. I agree with you. And there's people that also do positive conscious rap. But you got to look at society. Why are the record labels signing the ones that only talk about guns, bitches?
Absolutely.
Pardon my language. Why is the record labels only signing them and putting them on a big scale? Why are they not promoting the positive? You got to look at human beings. We love negative stuff. So why is rap different from anything else? In films, we're happy to go see a film about a guy killing people. We're happy because we're gonna go see that. But when it comes to rap music, people are saying that. There's violent books. There's violent stuff. I think it's what society is promoting. We love that negativity. That's why.
On films, it's easier to see that as we're
it's
just
even worse
watching it on screen. Whereas with rap, it becomes part of your culture.
Yeah, it's true.
You want to emulate that, and once you want to emulate that, is there a solution?
There is a solution. The solution is that we as a society, we got to teach ourselves and our children that's negative and stay away from that. And we got to teach our kids to stay away from it.
How are you different?
How are you different? Right? Have your controls over the kids.
Then maybe some of your friends who I'm assuming you're law-abiding, you present as law-abiding.
How am I different from them? I don't know.
What happened to you to change? Like, why are some people more susceptible?
No, do you know what it is? You know what it is? It's about parents having control over their kids.
That's what I said to this.
No, see, right now in the UK,
I said that
parents ain't got no control over their kids. Their kids are spitting in their mum's faces.
It's true.
They're spitting in their mum's faces, telling them, you know what, F this and F that. In front of their parents, there's no control.
We can't completely say that in particular. I do agree with you that it's better parenting. I don't know if it's stricter parenting, but it's better parenting. The reason I was going to say,
I don't blame the parents. I blame the government. Because the government is putting pressure onto their parents. For example, if a parent slaps their kid, the parents go in jail.
Well, no, actually, parents.
Yeah, the parents go in jail. My uncle, I'm not gonna lie, my uncle went in jail.
You're allowed to slap your kids.
Yes.
It's still illegal.
Are you saying that parents don't have enough freedom to deal with
freedom? Yeah, no control of freedom.
Guys, you have to be very careful.
You got to be careful with what you tread in. Because it also leads to like abuse as well. So you got to be
80% of prisoners, right? 80% of prisoners come from excessively violent backgrounds. So you have to be very careful. When we're talking about discipline, you make sure you're not
I'm not
talking
gonna lie,
about...
man.
Yeah,
it's
make sure
different.
you're
For
not
me
talking
personally,
about... Make sure you're not talking about...
my dad come from Africa, man. So when I was growing up, I was getting slapped all the time.
I was getting beats.
For me, I
was getting beats. I was getting the belt.
My dad was slapping me every time. But today I gotta say, I'll shake my dad's hand and say thank you for giving me those slaps, man. Because them slaps
doesn't make a difference between single parent
it makes a
household.
difference.
Maybe
It makes a
that's
massive
being there,
difference.
not
The only
being
thing is
there.
I have to say, how that falls back on us.
There's no sense of fear.
That slightly falls back on us.
Kids have no sense of fear.
Why'd you say that? I'm glad my dad slapped me today. Because if he didn't slap me, I'll be somewhere else. I'll be in prison.
The reason, yeah, exactly.
See, there's a problem with that because some people, you may have derived that lesson from that.
Absolutely.
But what my
everyone.
siblings, or what I've experienced from that, is that most of the time, all it teaches them, especially one of my siblings, or sorry, my nephew,
So address your problems
all it teaches them is that the person that's beating them is bigger. That's all it teaches them.
No.
As soon as you remove that person from the equation,
No.
That's
wrong.
in.
It depends what the kid is
That's
doing.
a white man mentality.
It depends what the
That
kid is
doesn't
doing.
apply to everyone.
No, that's not true.
Guys,
I know
I'm not gonna squash the conversation, but it is actually provable. Most of the people who are in jail come from these kinds of backgrounds. Where it was,
that's not
true.
Not everyone's going to derive the same lesson as you did.
I think there's different levels. If your child is just misbehaving, doing normal kid stuff, then you shouldn't hit them. Obviously, that's just their nature. But if your kid is doing things that you think, yo, this is this is getting a bit too much.
Like, for example, your child swears at you.
Your child swears at you, hates you. But I used to work at Primark. I used to work at Primark over there. Yeah. One time I saw one girl, one girl telling her mom, "Fuck off, you're always embarrassing me." And Primark over there saying, "Fuck off, you're always embarrassing me."
Immediately, the first thing that you're gonna jump to is like, this kid's dead. You're gonna mess with me.
If your kid ain't gonna respect you as an adult, why was he gonna go and respect this gentleman?
But that's a completely different aspect to what we're talking about. When we're talking about gang culture, it's a completely different aspect.
Now, but parents do make a big.
No, but the thing is, we do have to acknowledge the fact that there's a proportionate amount of parents, right? African parents in particular, and black parents and Caribbean parents, who do put discipline onto their kids, right? But then we also have this crime rate. You can't say that we use.
I don't think it's based completely on
parents. You can't say that we use firm.
There are too many variables.
Firm discipline.
No, because that thing is too complex, isn't it? It's too complex. But what we're saying is, we're right. Sometimes a slap does.
Is limited in this country. And what about when mother and father work in and nobody home?
It's true. It's true.
It's
a community that raises you. The community raises you. You know what I mean? It's a community that raises you.
But this is
exactly.
It's a community that raises you.
Pointing at that, if you, let's say for instance, you discipline your son, and he does something really bad, you slapped him, he may learn a lesson from that, but then he goes back to his friends, and he goes back to his friends, and he develops this thing where basically, oh, my dad slapped me. It's like, oh, you let your dad slap you like that? Yeah, and you go back, and then that person eventually, all he's going to learn is that I just have to get bigger.
And you realise,
you know what, for me personally, I can speak for myself. There's never been a time yet when my dad slapped me or something, and I thought it was my dad's fault. I knew that I was doing fucked up shit, and like I said today,
quick question.
I knew I was doing messed up stuff. And today, I see my dad all the time, and I always tell my dad, "I'm glad, mate, because if you weren't putting that discipline on me, bruv, I would be in prison myself because I was behaving. If it was just me and my mum, I would be in prison."
But once again, I'm saying,
I feel like when I was 14, I'm already bigger than my mum. I'm already grown up.
Once again, what I'm saying is, not every child derives that lesson.
It's true.
I know a child who he got so much licks to the point where he's completely emotionless now. He doesn't even care anymore. He's completely disconnected now. So all he thinks about now, all you can see in his face is like, look, as soon as I get bigger, as soon as I'm more powerful, that's it.
It's true.
That's all he's gonna learn.
Another thing, I want to ask you a question.
It's complex, man. It's complex.
It's really complex.
You say that obviously you got quite the firm kind of like discipline at home.
Yeah, I got firm. Not even because I live with my aunt and my uncle.
Can you tell me that you've never used violence to sort out your problems from there?
No, for me personally, I think it's different because for me, I live with my uncle and my aunt for a long time,
Yeah.
and then that's when I feel like I was getting beaten like to a high level for no reason. But when I moved with my dad was just slapping me because I was doing dumb stuff.
See, that's the problem. I feel like some parents don't know how to balance.
I think my parents did. I feel like my parents did.
Your parents probably did.
My uncle and aunt didn't. My parents did do, and you're right. I feel like there's a limit to it. But I feel like if you got one of those bad mouthed children, you gotta give them a little slap, mate.
The thing is, guys,
You have to give them.
I've heard you guys talk about a lot of beating and a lot of hate, right? I haven't heard any of you guys mention the lesson behind it.
Yeah, you got to, man.
Lesson behind
Because
the
otherwise,
lesson
you're always gonna be
behind getting a beating.
Yeah.
What I was
I was just saying, not getting a beating in particular, but the lesson behind why you're being disciplined in the first place. Like you said, it's hard.
Then you know that way.
It's hard.
You know that I need to be behaving about it, and you know
It's hard for
they're doing
people
it
to
with
already
love.
kind of like
Because if they didn't
why
care
they
about
get
you,
beaten, right?
they would have done nothing
After
and
you
let
beat
you
them and you don't tell them
go
why they're
outside.
being disciplined,
this country, they encourage
they then just think that if I keep doing this, I'm going to get beat.
They do
To a point
encourage
where
it.
once you
They
get
do
old,
encourage it.
once
That's
you get
why we
older,
got
you become a lot more bigger than your parents.
We got to
It's
implement the
all free
right way
reign.
of
It's all free
punishment,
reign.
not
So
torturing
we
the
need to talk
child.
about. I think these
You're embarrassing them.
I think one of the biggest problems with the African community or the African American community is that we don't speak about the lessons behind the discipline. I don't necessarily think that hitting your kids is a terrible thing. I won't do it to my kids. But for me personally, I've seen that kind of disassociated personality that does come from that excessive beating. I've been through it myself, and it's one of those things where I didn't get lessons in what I was doing wrong. If I got lessons, then that gives me the freedom to choose next time whether or not I'm gonna do something wrong, and then whether or not I deserve the beating or not. But if I don't know what I'm doing is wrong and why it's wrong, I'm just gonna carry on repeating it.
Sorry, exactly. So basically, some things that, say for instance, if you hit or beat a child for, the chances are that child's gonna know that was already bad.
Absolutely.
But for the children that don't know that, and they're just getting licks for it. Like, look, as soon as you're off,
you got to explain
as soon
it.
as you're not around,
But this is what I'm trying to say.
I'm going back to my thing.
Like I was saying,
This is why I said excessively bad.
yeah, excessively bad is bad. You got to do it with
because it's just
you got to do it with a little bit of love.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it's frustration being taken out on the children themselves.
That's it.
And this is where you need to draw a line between lessons and actual frustration. Because the thing is, we have a lot of children nowadays who do have frustrated Caribbean parents who are in the UK, and they do take that frustration out on their children, and then their children emulate that, which is wrong.
They lose the plot between lesson and frustration. I get exactly.
You know, sometimes parents become a bit abusive because some people's parents, they drink quite a lot, man. So they're drinking, and like you said, they're getting frustrated and they're taking it out on their family and their kids, which is, I'm against that type of behavior. I'm against that 100%. But I'm not against like slapping a bad mouth
I'm
child.
not. But me personally, I wouldn't, because chances are, I feel like it can easily change from me going into getting angry about.
I've never seen it work negatively, man.
He's saying if you're going to beat your child,
make
make sure you're not angry, because chances are you're going to get frustrated.
You realize what some of the worst dictators in the world have been people who have gone through that.
Yeah,
kind
but
of
also some of the best people in society got a little slap from their parents as well, man. Some of the people that think more intelligently.
But it shows that that module doesn't work consistently. Meaning that we can't apply it then. Because if it works so kind of like divisively, you know, where it's like it's either one or the other. I would rather have people in the middle swearing at their mums than people who put people in gulags and kill 40 million people. Do you know what I mean? That risk is not worth bearing at all. So when we talk about this, we need to talk about it again, like in pros and cons, right? Are you willing to have a child who then goes on later on in life addressing every one of his problems with a physical kind of answer, with violence or intimidation?
No, that's what I'm saying. It's you gotta get the line right, man. You don't just hit your kid just because you feel like you gotta hit your kid. If your kid is behaving disrespectfully towards you, they're more likely, if you let them do it, they're gonna be dead or end up in prison or even beaten up, because they're gonna go up there and disrespect him, because they're gonna think, if I'm gonna disrespect my own dad, who the fuck is this? Sorry for my language. They're gonna think, who the fuck is this guy if I'm speaking to my own father like that?
Especially in the Western society, you realize that form of practice doesn't work anywhere else. In the sense that if you hit your kid, right? If you hit your kid and you explain the lesson, right? Instead of just explaining the lesson to him, if someone does something wrong to him, what do you think he's gonna do? He's gonna hit them before he tells them the lesson.
But that's
and then you're gonna land them in jail before you've even given them the chance.
But that's wrong. But you're saying, I feel like that's wrong, because at the end of the day, human beings are inevitably violent anyways.
I disagree.
I don't know about that, man. I feel like human beings are evidently violent people anyway.
What do you think?
I feel like human beings are we already react quite violently anyways. As an overall, in the general.
What do you think
we
can be
behave
done?
quite violently
Frustration,
anyway.
if some people have less control over their frustration levels, and that would then lead them to resort to violence. Violence is the easiest answer ever.
No, but
it's
even
the most simple answer to anything. But even if you can't get something to work, you kick it. That's it.
But look, even look at historically, human beings. Well, we're moving subject, yeah. But I'm just saying, look at historically, human beings we're prone to violence, mate. Like, just look at our culture. Look at our cultures.
I'll be careful. I would be careful when you say.
But look at our cultures, though. We have a killing type of mentality.
We've been speaking over him for ages.
Let me ask you a question. What do you think? Obviously, I don't hold you responsible.
We can hold all four of us.
I don't hold you or anyone. You're not a spokesperson for all the blacks, and you're not responsible for.
I'm only responsible for one man.
I say, often people make that, you look at one person who looks like a group, say, oh, what about? Of course, it's not your responsibility.
Absolutely.
But I'm saying, just as a black person, what do you think can be done to change things? And
in terms of what?
I spoke about this actually. He recorded some weeks ago. We're talking about crime rate, for example. Is it because black people are more prone to crime, or because of race?
White people are more prone to violence than black people.
Let me finish.
Because if they're saying
let me finish.
We cannot answer.
We cannot
answer inflammation with inflammation.
Just a second. I think what happens is it's a vicious cycle. So if you put people down, they're persecuted, so they rise up. So there's more poverty, and they start crime more. So there's more crime, then they get persecuted more.
Absolutely.
It keeps going on. It's a snowball. So it really doesn't matter where it started.
Absolutely.
Once it gets perpetuated, it just keeps going on.
Yeah. I think I was just.
Essentially, how do you break out of that?
I was going to say
education, man. I feel like we got to educate ourselves more, and obviously.
But you have education.
How do you break? I feel like educate. What do you mean?
You go to school. You get.
If you consider that. Listen, I'm not gonna lie, but I only started getting educated and learning stuff outside of school. Because when I went to school, I hardly even learned. I'm gonna be honest, I hardly learned anything, fam. The reason I didn't learn anything because the subjects they're teaching me, I really don't care.
Yeah, really.
Like not even a disrespectful thing, but like I didn't care about like British history. I didn't care. Humanities, I don't care.
Just that.
Apart from maths, apart
teach you
from
English
maths
and maths and how to go to university, how to actually succeed
I agree with
financially.
you. Apart from the maths and English and that, that's the thing I really cared. Apart from that, I just went to school to socialise. Number one, to chill, get away from my family. Some people don't learn like that. Different people learn differently. I only learn from my own intuition, me going back and researching my own self.
But your
and also
intuition is
reading.
not going to get you into university, and not being in university is already gatekeeper for better jobs.
But is university really the quote unquote thing that determines an intelligent person and not an intelligent person?
But it is a gatekeeper for good jobs generally.
It is a gate. It is.
So if you want to succeed, generally you have to follow this route, this path.
I don't know if I agree with that. I don't know if I agree with that one.
quickly
Because university is just one channel. There's different type of channels for you to.
Can I quickly just
Someone could simply just want to go and help people out of the world.
Yeah.
Can I quickly just interject, because I agree with partly what you said, but also I agree with is it Eli?
Yeah.
Eli. I agree with Eli just in the sense that I think one of the things that we're seeing nowadays is that Africans and African Americans and everyone, they're starting to understand the system now. They're starting to understand education. They're starting to understand university. They're starting to understand prospects on all of these kind of themes. And I believe that's what's allowing them to nowadays actually kind of like frame their kind of like everyday living into kind of like that progressive route. And this is why I believe like knife climb or whatever, yes, it's high, but you know, it's been on the decline like for a little while. And I believe it's because we're starting to
It's on the rise now though, isn't it? There's like 6 stabbings the other day.
You're always gonna have spikes though. You're always gonna have like spikes.
I feel like it's on the rise just from living in the
reporting
city.
Yeah, but you have to look at trends over time.
I'm talking about. Listen,
Or did you know about-
I'm talking about living in the city and interacting. I feel like I don't even want to say some stuff on
You have
camera.
to look
but I
at
know
trends
for a
over
fact.
time, not
I know
just
for
over
a
days.
fact that people are carrying big knives, man.
Back to the,
I know for a fact
back to
people
the
are
point.
carrying.
I've lost two of my best friends from that.
I know people are carrying big
You have
knives.
to look at trends
I've
over
seen
10
it
years or
myself,
so.
man.
No, I
You
understand,
have
but the thing is, you have to understand there's a difference between exposure to the media and actual statistics in terms of how many knife crimes there actually are. When we're talking about this, like you said, you mentioned Scotland earlier. Now, I know most people didn't know Scotland until I brought it up.
I said it because of Carla. I always hear a Carla
Yeah, exactly,
talk
a
about
Carla as well. Carla's the one who brought that up. Did you know about it during the time?
I knew, because I grew up in the Midlands and I grew up with I knew some Scottish dons and I knew them guys, they're quite violent.
But did you know it was that bad?
I didn't know, I knew the Scottish people were they're quite aggressive, man. So
Did you know it was
No,
that
I didn't know
bad
it was
to the
that bad.
extent? That's what I'm trying to say. So there's a difference between exposure and media, etc. As much as we talk about, in particular, you know, it's getting worse or whatever, I don't think it's getting worse.
I feel like the media is just
I see a
highlighting
lot
us.
more. I see a lot more like what's it call it, 2-parent families now. I see a lot more African 2-parent families, Caribbean 2-parent families, young as well, much younger than a lot of the British nationals or the British locals. And for me personally, that indicates a progression that is happening, and I believe it's because we now understand the system that we're in, and we're now trying to work it towards our kind of aspirations. And I think Eli is completely right when you talk about university being, you know, the gateway and the keeper, etc.
Not really, man.
Not necessarily.
Not
It's not. No. There's a difference. There's a difference. Hear me out. There's a difference. Saying that it's a gateway and a keeper is different to saying that it's the be all and end all. That's the difference. Yes, we can kind of like differentiate and divert into other industries, but you need to understand when we're talking about, say, industries where I'm going into, it's the film industry. The odds are of making it super successfully are very slim. You have a lot of people who are struggling actors who are working bill to bill kind of thing, and it doesn't always work in that sense that you go into acting, you become a movie star, and some people don't realize this. And there's certain communities and certain kind of like communities of like ethnicity who don't realize this, and they don't support it as well. So if you have a black person saying that they want to become an actor, most likely their family is going to say, well, you can leave the house, we're not going to support you, kind of thing, not knowing that this is the time when they need the most financial support, they need the most financial backing, and they need the most investment, because they could pay off big, but they're not ready to accept that because they don't understand fully just how that system works. So in terms of university, I would agree with Eli. It's now the gatekeeper because it has that general kind of like, you know, you can have a university degree and you can get so many other jobs, whereas an acting degree you can't. You can only get one job. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Okay.
But with a job with analyzing statistics or whatever, you can get a job in the bank, you can get a job in finance, you can get a job in what else is there? Taxation.
Okay, but for example, because obviously he was talking about how can we make things better. education isn't really the answer in that, because if you look at some people, some brothers in our society that are educated, they still talk the most obscene shit. They're talking all the crud shit, and these people, they've been university, they've got degrees, but they're still talking. He doesn't know what crud means, but you're pretty sure it's like they're talking all that stuff. So I'm not sure. I think it's mainly a family structure, man. I think it's more of a family thing than education.
Is there something about looking at yourself? So what worked for me? Why am I not a drug dealer and my friend might be? And replicating that.
The thing is, if for example, I'm just say one thing to you. Let me just say one thing to you. For example, if you just look at someone and you think these drug dealers, I don't know their reasons, mate. A lot of drug dealers are white, Turkish, Albanian.
Financial gain.
You don't know, man.
It's financial gain.
These people, the people that you see are selling drugs, they're just low-level street drug dealers. The drug thing
that's my question. So
it's not just a black thing.
But that was my question. If you would look at your schoolmates, I'm assuming probably some of them are in trouble with the law and you're not.
Some of my schoolmates got big boy jobs. Some of them, like you're saying, it's true.
Why is it that
I think it's down to my parents.
Why is it that kept you out of trouble and then
I think the reason.
Same as with you.
I think
it's my parents,
out of trouble
just
while
my
they
parents
didn't.
that kept me out of trouble.
Intricacy.
Because my dad's a heavy disciplined man. So
it's how you're raised.
I do have to.
Can you replicate that?
I wanted to say.
So
the difference is when you guys were talking about a lot of people who go to university and they chat a load of wax or whatever, they're not costing people their lives. That's the big difference.
It's true.
That's the big difference. So when we do talk about people who go to university and achieve that education, whatever, we're talking about, well, this is going to sound so fucked up, civilizing, right? Civilizing mentality and understanding that there's better ways of getting finance and getting that kind of money up loose than doing a quick drug job that will possibly leave you liable for the rest of your life.
Don't just come and just say and just condemn drug dealers, because there's some brilliant people that were drug dealers before in the past, mate. I'm telling you, and they've achieved things that me and you
I'm not saying the financial gain is not enticing at all.
Some people drug dealers. I guess that's an example. You probably want to think of like.
I guess that's why
everyone's like a specific.
It's a bad example, but you get what I mean. There's some people that they've turned that into a positive.
But the problem is
their community,
and
it's a negative, man.
A lot of people would say maybe these drugs shouldn't be illegal. Maybe that's
another thing.
That's another thing, and I agree.
That's going to open up a whole.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So maybe robbers is a better. Maybe like people mugging people is a better.
Yeah. The thing is, even because
I feel like mugging is even worse than selling drugs, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's like a specific example where people can't be like, there are no good muggers. Right?
Yeah, there's no good muggers.
We wouldn't be like, that's a really good mugging. You know,
the thing is,
that's not what's going on.
You can't use those one examples, the Scarfaces, the Al Pacios or whatever. You know, so you can't use those examples. They're very small, minute examples as to why someone can diverge from an actual kind of like route of life that could possibly guarantee them financial stability in the future. That's the problem. You value that kind of like massive up boost more than you do just having financial stability. That's
but the thing
problem.
is,
we can't use that method because
very
not
nice
everyone.
thing to
No worries,
take care, man. Eli, take
not
care.
everyone. It's like say within the acting industry, right? You may take acting on, but odds are you're just going to end up being an extra. Not everyone can be Brad Pitt. Not everyone can be Angelina Jolie. There's only very small spots.
I hear you, but I don't think we should really condemn that whole. I know it's a negative and it's not really the worst thing, but I don't think we should come
investigating about it.
Yeah, we shouldn't just come and say, the drug dealers are bad.
Careful. I mean,
some drug dealers they're quite intelligent, man.
And just look at the environment they're in.
The environment they're in.
They have no other choices.
Yeah. Some of them, I'm telling you, some of them mans. I know the majority of them, they might have their head in the clouds, but yo, bro, there's some.
But here's the thing. But guys,
no one wants
to say that. No one says that, but there's some
problem. There's a problem. I don't disagree.
Use the money they got into that.
I don't disagree, guys. But let's be honest. The drug dealers that we're talking about, we're not talking about people who are earning money.
Sorry, but can I say something? You know, drug dealers, from what I've seen, in my experience in life, everyone who dealt with drugs, they either got killed, prison, or disabled. Anyone who brought us money with the drugs money,
That's real talk, it's true.
anyone who brought businesses, like you just said,
They would have left it time ago.
The business flopped.
I'm not sure about that.
No, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something.
Yeah, go on.
Because it's haram money, unlawful money. Because what he's doing, he's destroying people's lives.
Absolutely.
So that money he's eating and giving to his kids, he's destroying his kids. he's destroying his family, he's destroying his house.
It's at the expense of everyone else.
Yes,
Blood money.
I just
Real drug dealers, you don't even know who they are.
Yeah, it's true.
So we
Real
can
drug
all
dealers are
speculate and say,
government,
oh, we know what this drug dealer is like.
Guys,
Not
let's
to
be
say
honest
that
though,
I don't know
even when we're
what
talking
drug
about, say, the
dealer
black
is,
community
but
or the
they keep
ethnic
their mouth
community in
quiet,
particular,
you know what I mean?
we're not talking about people who are selling drugs and then going to buy property, something that's actually kind of tangible throughout your lifetime.
we're
talking about people who buy cars that lose their value within a year. We're talking about people who buy gold chains which lose their value upon purchase, or watches, etc.
Gold chains don't lose their value, bro. They go up.
Oh no, not gold in particular, not gold, but
They
like
go up,
you know,
they go up £200,000.
The mimic.
Like 5 years, since £50,000 to £200,000. But what I'm trying to say, even if you did buy a house and a property and a business, all of that will get destroyed.
By what?
By what? Okay,
system might take it. They
No,
might take
absolutely,
it as
absolutely.
equity.
At the end of the day, if it's unlawful money, if it's haram money, let's just say, because at God we say haram, yeah. Anything that's haram money, you will not enjoy it. Everyone knows that. Easy come, easy go. Easy come, easy go.
That's very subjective.
Another
That's
thing as well,
subjective.
But certain brothers don't have that type of mentality. Certain brothers are calm people, and they're looking at him thinking, yo, I'm gonna do this 3 years, 4 years, and they might get caught within that time, like you said, or they might get killed.
And they give their children the food, the money with the food. Imagine.
That's bad. That is bad.
That is bad.
On a spiritual level, but they're eating.
Exactly.
When they're eating, if you never did that, your child would
No,
starve.
you
So you
won't
got to
stop.
think about it both ways.
No, let me give.
Is the drugs good that you're selling to feed your kids?
No, bro.
Is it bad because they're eating?
If you're in a drugs game, bro, prepare for either dying or go jail.
Or disabled.
My best friend got killed because of drugs. He owed people money.
I can't feel good about religious wars and religious war, no one feels guilty about them.
So that's if you're in a drugs game,
religious war,
either die or go
bad luck on you.
That's a sad thing to say, but you got to be smart in this world.
There's no problem with drug dealers, there's no talk about religion.
I don't know what niggas will want to be off. If I never had no job, and I have had no money or no nothing, and I have to support my family, I'm willing to do anything.
You're gonna do anything, man.
But there are consequences.
But as a man, you take them to feed your kids.
Can I say something? Can I say something? No one in this country is gonna die. No one in this country is gonna die from starvation. No one.
No, that's not true. There might be some people that might die from starvation.
Give me one incident where someone's died of starvation.
Bro, you don't know, man.
No, you don't know.
You don't know, man. There's too many people in this country, man. You don't know.
There's a lot of food banks. I know what you're saying.
Different people got different stories. Like, you don't know what people's life is.
You can't starve in the UK.
You can't starve in the UK.
It might be. No, you don't know people's life. Sorry, some people live in different.
There are food banks all over the UK.
Okay, look. Okay, for example, I'll give you an example. What about a young man like that? Imagine I'm his parent and I'm on crack or something, and I'm not looking care of him. He's not gonna starve. Is that young?
He's not social housing. He's going to social care.
We're talking about adults. But what
No,
about
you're talking
adults?
about adults. You're talking about young children. Okay, imagine a young man, even younger than him, like a 7-year-old. Yeah, I'm responsible for him, and I'm doing heroin. And obviously, he's gonna starve if I'm not responsible for that young man. And I'm an adult. He's not gonna go. Why are you saying that? This guy, not every kid is gonna be thinking like that, bro.
A kid who's alone,
It's
smarter than you think, you know.
That's if
Not all the kids are gonna be thinking.
They're very smart, you know.
But they're not all thinking, let me go to a social care. Because some kids are thinking, I don't want to get my parent into trouble. So if I go there and tell them that, they're going to take me away from my parent. And that's a whole nother lifestyle. And those kids, the kid that you're saying is smart, is the same kid that's not going to want to go to those social housing because he knows there he might get raped. You don't know what's going to happen. He probably rather go starve with his parents than to go into them systems.
Can I just say something? The reason what stopped me from going into drugs and all that, because as soon as I was thinking to start it, I saw bad luck straight away rush up on me. I saw beef. I saw us smacking up people. I said, "Whoa, this is some demonic route. I ain't gonna go through this route." As soon as I started, that's a blessing from God. And then I see next man going into estates, shutting keys and that, and getting disabled on the floor, disabled.
Some routes for other people are closed, and that's the only route.
Can I say something?
I don't know if it is, but it can be.
I'm not going to dismiss the fact that there's certain non-opportunities.
There's always opportunities.
I understand, but there's always opportunities. Drugs is not the only way at all.
It's not the only way.
I've worked minimum wage.
It's a way out. It's a bad way out.
It's a bad way out. I've worked minimum wage for like pretty much most of my adult kind of life. And it's one of those things where yes, it sucks in the beginning. It really does. And you don't get the bling, you don't get the thing. But most of these people are thinking ahead of time. They don't want to suffer. They don't want to struggle so that they can then later on be. They want the money straight away. They want the fame. They want the. So it's one of those things. We need to talk about the mentality of the people who.
Well, then you know what?
It's like you said. It's like sorry.
So I was going to say, from what you were saying, I was saying we got to talk about the parenting then. From the parenting to give their children that sort of psychology to make them think like that. Because if you don't, then it's
there's a hadith that says 1 dirham halal is better than 1,000 dirham haram. So if I get £1 that's I can eat with it, it's better than £1,000 that's unlawful. You get me?
But the thing is, not everyone's gonna.
That's still on a spiritual level, yeah.
That's religion. Not every man's gonna agree with Islam.
I'm a Muslim myself, but I'm not bringing that into
even if we don't, guys, even if we don't agree with Islam on this, right? Even if we don't agree, I'll give you an example. We don't agree with the fact that European colonialists went to Africa and now we're benefiting, or Europe is benefiting off the colonialism of Africa, yes?
Yeah.
What's happening to Europe now? They're being attacked left, right and centre. Because why?
Because they what they did in the past.
Because they what they did in the past.
No, it goes by design.
So what goes there?
Say that again?
It's by design, come on. All these proxy wars and all this.
Oh, what, do you trying to say that? Yes, the system. I think that's man-made. I don't think
with the British, they don't bother about today.
Well, some of it, I can't say all of it.
Even the destabilization in the Middle East, right?
Yeah, but you gotta think,
is that not what contributes now to the terrorist attacks over here?
That's by design.
So what I'm trying to say is, even if we don't want to take on a religious base, what Mo said, it's completely replicable on a philosophical basis.
No.
Just in the sense that
this is already happened to them.
Took oil or whatever, we wanted to go and get investments from the Middle East, and now we're paying for it.
It's true, man.
So that's what Mo was saying. So whether or not you want to take it religiously,
about
it's the same
what
thing.
you're actually saying, but in reality, I know we're talking more on a spiritual level. But in reality, you need to feed your kids.
Can I say something?
Can I just say
by
all means?
You know, there's
you can do what you want, but they're not going to get your child.
There's a hadith in Islam. If you're gonna die and there's pig and alcohol and you don't drink it and eat the pig and you die, you go to hell. There's a hadith about that. So if I'm gonna die and there's a pig next to me and there's alcohol and the only way to survive is eat the pig and alcohol and I say no, it's haram and I die, I go to hell. This is so. If
everybody agrees with that.
I'm just saying.
Everyone agrees with that.
But that's not
everyone agrees with that.
No, but I'm saying you're not on that level where you're about to die, bruv. You know what? In this country, for example, if you're talking about in this country or in another country, maybe you're talking about where you're gonna die to death. Do you know that God, today it's written for you to get £10. You can wait and get it from a lawful way. It's written for you, it's your destiny. Or you can go to an unlawful way. By the end of the day, you're gonna get £10.
Maybe this karma can happen to all the slave owners whose families are still rich today and still benefiting from there. Maybe karma can hit them once.
Karma, karma.
You know what? You know there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff. You know what? There's a lot. Even one thing. This might be irrelevant. Like you said, the slave owners, and all them Europeans, and you're talking about all that. You got to think about some stuff that they were stealing from us back in the days. Like I was reading into something. Even Jack Daniels, the guy that made Jack Daniels, stole it from one of the slaves there. He stole that recipe from the slave.
Came from black people.
He stole it from us. And they made it today. Now it's the biggest. It's the biggest. One of the biggest. And they stole it from a black man, bro.
There's a lot of things out there that
a lot of stuff.
I know why as well. America grew up so fast in the slavery years. Because most things were
stolen.
No, not stolen. Not in ingenuity. But if you're struggling in the field, you become clever. You think of ways to make things.
Make it easy.
That's why everyone was so invented so quickly in Africa. When people were struggling, you used to think clever ways to invent them. But you're my slave, you invented it. I'm your owner, and it's my invention.
Then they take your credit. It's true, man.
I was just about to address your point.
But in terms of our community and that whole drug dealing thing, man, we got to educate our community. And it's not from the schools, it's from the parents and the community.
It's both.
It's both, but the schools
could let down as well.
Schools do let you down, but I think it's mainly down to the community and your parents. The community... Because you know what they say? There's a saying the community raises you. It's your community that raises you. Because
you're a product of your
environment. It's the truth today. Enough times I used to go to school and it would just be like.
One thing I was going to say.
Do you know why the Europeans rule the world?
Money.
Monetary system.
We need to get rid of this idea.
You can drop a country just like that.
Just because you are poor, you can't act just. We need to get rid of this idea. Because
what do you mean by act just?
Act just in the sense that you need to realize that there's other people and you need to be sympathetic towards them as well. In particular, if I tell you now that there were Europeans back in the day, right, when it was stupidly cold, right, who basically kind of reverted back to cannibalism because they had to eat. Would you say that was okay?
Yeah.
I disagree.
Can I tell you, should they be vegan?
I feel like that's okay.
No, because they should accept their fate. They should accept their fate.
And die. Then that means there'll be no Europeans today.
If you should accept your fate, why can't someone else accept their fate?
The Romans got it right. They embraced what's it called? The Torah. They embraced the Torah and invented the other two religions, Christianity and Islam.
Yeah. Now, can I just say something?
It was the Romans that invented them.
Brother, you know when someone violates someone? It comes back to them. If it doesn't come back to them, it comes back to their kids.
Absolutely.
Once God told Moses told God, Allah, I want to see your justice. So Allah told Moses, go to the well. So he sat at the well, and a man came in the desert. He drank water, he left his money. Another man came after, he saw the money, he took it. A third man came, and then the second man came and he killed the first man. So Moses said, where's your justice here? So God told Moses, the first man, God said, the first man that left the money and drank the water and went. The second man that came, the first man owed him money. So he found the money, he took it. Then the third man that came and killed, and then the third man came that drank water, the first man came back, said, where's my money? He goes, I just came now. So the first man killed the third man. And then Moses said, so then God said, because the third man had killed the first man's father. Do you understand? So God's justice, so if someone's injustice to your granddad, it will come back to you probably, do you understand? Or it will come back to you.
But how can you say that? Yeah, sorry about
no,
that.
I
was just going to say, how can you say that, I hear what you were just saying, but how do you know that the injustice was done before that and the karma was that?
No, but I'm saying,
you know what I mean?
God is just in it.
So think about that. What if that was the karma? What if the karma
See
was
what he's saying? That's why people of colour are down here.
No, that's nothing to do with that. That's Moses. That's the story of Moses and
Listen to you. Listen to
you. Do you believe in Moses?
Moses. The only thing I believe in is I'll be here tomorrow.
So you don't have a God?
What is a God? It's a word. It's right.
I agree with you.
Listen, because you've got that, and I respect you, but give me Moses' real name.
Musa.
Real birth name.
Yeah, Musa.
Birth
that's
name.
His name. That's his name.
When he was picked out of the river, what did the kings and queens call him?
I'm not sure about what they called him because
they called him Moses.
Pharaoh's wife
it's a princess. Picked him out of the river. What was the river called?
Nile.
4,000 years ago, on your mother's life, 4,000 years ago, it was called the Nile.
It wasn't called Nile back
then. On your mother's life.
I don't know.
We don't know where it was called back then, but
European name.
I don't know.
Right, what do you know about these people that built the pyramids? They look like these people. They look like these people. Not Egypt. Egypt's a Greek name.
But what are you trying to say?
Musa, that is not a Hebrew name. So Moses, what language did he speak?
Moses.
What language did he speak?
In the palace, what language did he? Adoptive language. What did he speak?
I don't know what their language was at that time because there was Aramaic. There was
Aramaic. He'd have been killed.
There was Aramaic.
According to Scripture, he would have been killed.
That's what Jesus spoke. Aramaic, innit? So,
4,000 years ago, not 2,000 years ago.
Yeah, I know. So
you're teaching us though, my brother.
I'm not teaching them.
Well, you're helping us to learn something. So if you don't know the answer, you got to kind of tell us. You know what I mean? You can't just keep saying, what is it? We don't know. So
but this is why we're down. The Abrahamic stories, that's all they are. They're just stories. Give me the real name of Moses. He was placed into a river.
What's his real name?
Well, the Hebrews says he has 10 real names.
Oh, okay.
10.
Okay.
Yeah. His mother placed him into a river, then a princess took him out of the river and named him Musa.
No offense to no one here, but me personally, when it comes to religion, I don't care about that.
That's why we're down. Look, we were on top. Science, engineering,
we're down.
And the Romans came in and said, right, take these books and study them.
Me personally, I feel like, no offense to you, man, I feel like Islam is a destruction
not
of
just
Africa
Islam,
and
Christianity. And Christianity.
But which type of Islam?
Man-made. All man-made. In Africa,
which type of Islam?
Africa's a European name.
Yeah, Africa is a European name. You're right.
So what? Where was Moses? With respect, where was Moses born?
It was called like Abyssinia or something like
Egypt,
that.
Egypt wasn't around when Moses was there. When they were building the pyramids, where was he born?
Was he not viewed at Ethiopia or something? Abyssinia.
That's another European name.
Well, like, where was Moses born? I know.
Yes,
Egypt. I know. Egypt.
We call it Africa, the continent. What did the locals call it? Sorry about that, brother.
I don't.
No, what? Tell us.
Does anybody want to white middle-aged man?
Content over everything. From your humanity.
Man, say it straight. Man, don't listen to BBC. Man, don't listen to ITV.
What is the factor?
The debate I want to have today, right, is not that. The debate I want to have is that the reason that spiralled out of control is because of the race relation laws that were introduced in 1965.
Please, if you want to have a discussion.
Exactly. And why